What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another Call of Dragons video. In today's episode, we're gonna check out the brand new war pet known as the Bruin bear. I'm gonna give you two awesome builds that you can use with this amazing war pet. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet already. Turn on that bell notification and never miss out. Like the video, share it with your friends, leave some comments down below. Let's get into it. Alright, Warriors of Tamaris, the Bruin bear is a war pet designed specifically for Skogul. Let us begin the video by checking out the rage skill of this war pet. It is known as Quickening. It says, each counter attack against an enemy legion inflicts 1 stack of barbed mark. Maximum stack is 3. The next time the hero casts a rage skill, they deal damage to up to 5 surrounding enemies carrying barbed mark and clears all stacks of barbed mark from those enemies. The duration is 30 seconds, the damage type is physical, the damage factor is the barbed mark stacks times 9.63, determined by strength. Now it says it can do damage to up to 5 surrounding enemies carrying the barbed mark. Now over here, you have the barbed mark stacks times this damage factor. Now let's say you have this war pet at 1 star or 2 star, you have leveled it up all the way up to level 60. And the barbed mark stacks is gonna be multiplied by the damage factor at level 60. Let's say you have a damage factor of 30 at level 60. And then you have 3 stacks. So it's gonna be 3 stacks times 30, which is 90 damage factor. So you're gonna be doing 90 damage factor to each one of the 5 surrounding legions. So that's gonna be 90 times 5, which is just insane. The damage factor is gonna be awesome. This war pet is excellent with Skogul because of the rage skill of Skogul. The rage skill is described as Blood Fury. It says, legions deal additional diffused counter-attack damage every second to all legions at close range when they launch a normal attack on your legion. So Skogul is going to be doing double counter-attack. She is going to take advantage of the barbed mark stacks that you get from this war pet. It is just amazing. You just have to get close to a bunch of different legions, start hitting them with the counter attack, and guess what? You're going to be doing so much damage. Now I'm going to show you two awesome builds that you can use with this war pet. Before we get out of here, just make sure that you have Skogul in your legion to get the best value out of this Bruin bear. Of course, you can use this Bruin bear with any physical legion. You can use it with your cavalry. You can use it with any of the other infantry marches, but the best hero for this war pet, hands down, is Skogul. Now let's say you're using Goresh and Goresh and Madeline, and then you put this war pet on Goresh. It's not going to be very effective. On the other hand, when you're using Goresh and Skogul, and then you use this war pet, your damage is going to be taken to the next level. So make sure you just pair up Skogul with pretty much any other infantry hero to get the best value out of this war pet. With that out of the way, let us go to the pet sanctuary and see how you can build this war pet to get the best value against your enemies. I'm going to be showing you guys two awesome builds that you can use with this war pet. And here is the first one. It's going to be the pet skill build. So let me expand this so you see it properly, and then we're going to talk about the points one by one. So this guide is going to show you the pet skill build for this Bruin bear. What are the skills that you're going to have on this pet skill build? You will have Quickening, Forceful Quickening, Terrible Quickening, Angry Roar, Blood Roar, Fatal Bite, Tooth and Claw. And then for the 8th skill, you can go with either Chain Strike or the Counter Strike. Now I'm gonna zoom this a little bit, and then I show you the points that I just mentioned. The first one is gonna be the Quickening, which is the rage skill of this war pet. Gonna move this to the left side. And then the second one, you're gonna put the Forceful Quickening. Quickening damage dealt plus 4.92 determined by endurance. And then you're gonna be using Terrible Quickening. Let's go to skill 3-star and then find the Terrible Quickening. Where is it located? So here is the terrible quickening. Increases the maximum stacks of buffed marked inflicted by quickening. Every 97 agility increases maximum stacks by 1. So let us pause over here for a second and see how you can get the best value out of this terrible quickening. So it says every 97 agility you can get 1 extra stack. So let's see, what do you need to get the maximum number of stacks? I have a pet here with a very good agility. So this one has agility of 36 at level 60. It's gonna be 318 points, which means you will be able to get 3 extra stacks if you have agility of 36 or 35, which is going to be amazing. Now, as soon as you have 3 extra stacks, you're gonna add them on top of this quickening stacks that you have here. You have 3 stacks plus another 3, that's gonna be 6 stacks. And then 6 stacks is gonna be multiplied by the damage output of your war pet. Now say you got a 2-star skill and it does 30 damage. So it's going to be 30 times 6. That is just the damage to 1 legion. But it says here you can do damage to up to 5 surrounding enemies. So each enemy is gonna take 30 damage factor times the 6 stacks to all 5 of those enemies. It's gonna be brutal. This is one of the most coolest pets available for the physical infantry in the Call of Dragons. Once you have put your terrible quickening, the next skill that you're gonna need is going to be the angry roar, and you're gonna use the one that uses agility. Angry roar says crit rate plus 26.19% when a war pet skill deals physical damage. This one is something that you need to add on your war pet for the pet skill build. The next one is going to be the blood roar. Blood roar is another version of the angry roar. So both skills are going to stack and give you even more critical. So blood roar is right here. Crit rate plus 23.89%. So it's gonna be like 23.89% plus whatever you get from here. Another crit rate here, 26. Almost 50%, which is just great. You're gonna be doing a lot more damage to your enemies. And then you're gonna put the fatal bite. What does fatal bite do for you? Let us scroll down and find it. Fatal bite. I think I saw it and then missed it. Fatal bite. Where you at? It is right here. So crit damage plus 59% when a war pet skill deals physical damage. This is going to be amazing for the Bruin bear, especially when you have angry roar and the blood roar working together to trigger this fatal bite. It is gonna be awesome. Once you're done with that, you can also add the tooth and claw. War pet skill physical damage dealt 17.74%. So this is a build that you can use to improve the quickening ability of this war pet. It is gonna help you do so much damage to your enemies. Now the last point, you can either put chain strike or the counter strike depending on what you want. Chain strike is gonna trigger some abilities from your talent tree, and the counter strike is gonna do damage to pretty much anyone who touches you and triggers the ability. So this is the first build for the Bruin bear. It is known as the pet skill build. Now let's check out the next one. Alright, Warriors of Tamaris, we're gonna check out the second build of the Bruin bear. This one is called the hero build and it looks something like this. Let me expand it so you see what it really looks like. You're gonna have quickening, you're gonna have forceful quickening, you're gonna have terrible quickening, you're gonna have swift revenge, hit back, chain strike, counter strike, fierce attack, or blood for blood. The last point, you're gonna have to pick one between the two. Either you go with fierce attack or you take blood for blood. It's gonna be up to you. So let me minimize this and then we talk about the points individually. The first skill is gonna be the quickening. We already know what it can do. You're gonna have the forceful quickening, and then you're gonna have terrible quickening for skill number 3. Terrible quickening is gonna increase the number of stacks and help you do even more damage to multiple enemies with the counter attack. It is just awesome. After that, it is time for you to think about your war pet, because sometimes when you fight in the open field, enemies are gonna block you with their infantry and you cannot get close enough. So you're gonna have to put some skills that's gonna punish those ranged units that hit you from very, very far. So you're gonna have something like the hit back. Let's find it. Where is the hit back? Okay, here is the hit back. It says crit rate plus 2.42% when Legion deals physical counter attack damage. So when one infantry block you and then other ranged unit are hitting you from afar, this is what's gonna save you against those enemies. When you have hit back, you can then put blood for blood. Another crit rate skill you can use to increase the number of crit rate you can do to your enemies. Now, once you have those two crit rate skills, you're gonna need something like the Swift Revenge. Swift Revenge is right here. It says critical damage plus 5.88 when Legion deal physical counter attack. So this build is gonna work very, very well, especially when your infantry get blocked and you cannot get very close to the enemy to take advantage of the quickening. You're gonna add some other skills as well. And what are those skills that you can add? You're gonna have the Chain Strike. Chain Strike is gonna help trigger some abilities from your talent tree. So we have Chain Strike over here. You're gonna put Counter Strike, which is going to punish all those ranged units who hit you from very, very far. So this is one of the builds that I would recommend you start with. Start with this build and then try to see if the pet build is gonna work well for you. So looking at them side by side, this is the pet skill build and then this is the hero build. I personally think I would start over here and then later on I go for the pet skill build and see which one works best. And this is the build for the Bruin bear in the Call of Dragons. Let me know your thoughts down below. Do you like this war pet? If you're still new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. Until then, talk to you guys in the next one. Bye bye for now.